A wide-angle lens is more than just a tool to get more into a picture, or to capture large subjects without having to back far away from them. It can actually be a powerful tool that can change the look of your photography. What is a wide-angle lens? Traditionally, photographers have considered lenses with focal lengths of 35 millimeters or lower to be wide-angle. The lower the millimeter number, like 24 millimeters, 20 millimeters, and so on, the wider an angle of view the lens has, and the more expansive its view in a picture or video. These traditional numbers still apply if you work with a full-frame digital camera. But many of today's cameras, like Canon's EOS Rebel models, and mid-range cameras like the EOS 70D or 80D, use a smaller imaging sensor. To get the same wide-angle coverage with them, a lens needs a shorter focal length. So, in general, if you use a camera with the smaller APS-C size image sensor, assume you'll need a lens that's about 22 millimeters or lower to get a wide-angle look. Actually, the standard zoom lens many of you bought with your camera will provide a good entry into wide-angle photos and video. Lenses like the 18 to 55 millimeter zoom for APS-C cameras, or a 24 to 70 millimeter or 24 to 105 millimeter for full-frame cameras will give you wide coverage at their lower zoom settings. Wide-angle lenses can be great for including broad expanses into your pictures and video. Interiors, entire buildings, and of course landscapes are often captured with wide-angle lenses. They're excellent for getting an entire large subject, even a big group of people, into a picture, especially when you don't have space to physically move back with the camera. In addition to seeing a wide field of view, another wide-angle lens characteristic is that things near the camera look larger in proportion to the rest of a scene. If you zoom to a wide setting, and then take a few steps closer to nearby subjects, you'll find your images often gain a real visual power and don't just look like everything's far away. This is one of the most important ways to get great wide-angle images. Put something interesting in your foregrounds, keep your lens zoomed wide, and get in close to it. The next step for most of us is to consider stepping to an ultra-wide-angle lens, which goes beyond what the standard zooms can capture. Now, magnificent images of interiors or strong, powerful images of subjects like cars, monuments, or even flowers in a garden can be at your fingertips. With the popular APS-C sensor cameras, this means a lens like Canon's EF-S 10 to 18 millimeter or 10 to 22 millimeter zooms, or the EF-M 11 to 22 millimeter lens for Canon's compact EOS M series cameras. If you shoot with a full-frame camera, you'll get the same look from lenses like the EF 17 to 40 millimeter or 16 to 35 millimeter zooms, or even a fixed focal length lens like the EF 14 millimeter f2.8. Any of these will bring you solidly into ultra wide-angle territory and put that visual power into your hands. And for serious, experienced photographers, Canon has a variety of fixed focal length wide-angle lenses with wide apertures for excellent low-light shooting and great image quality. Lenses like the 35mm f2.IS and the 24mm f2.8 IS are great examples. And there are some with even wider apertures for extreme low light, like the 24mm f1.4 and 35mm f1.4 L series lenses. Any of these can make a great next step as your photography grows, and you want to stretch beyond what the standard zoom lenses can deliver. Of course, another way to move past our standard zooms is to consider a telephoto lens, and that will be the topic of our next episode.